Hello everyone, and welcome again to another edition of Patient Support Services Africa, Patient Information.
Yes.
With her herself, Irene
Ogong'o.
And me myself, Night Atieno, aka Sharon Onyango,
aka Zimeisha,
aka The Guns. Anyway, today, Irene, please, let us dive straight into the bones of it.
Yes.
Into the flesh of it.
Flesh.
Yes.
The bones are leave for you to chew afterwards.
Yes.
But now let's deal with the flesh.
Yes.
So today I wanted us to talk about going back to school.
Yes.
Very soon our kids are going back to school. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted us to talk about preparedness. Mm-hmm. Post-COVID, the long time kids have been home, because there are things we need to be able to put in place before they go back.
That's it.
And yes, I know there are people who are saying, watoto wafungue, they should have opened even last year. Yes, they've been home for too long.
Yes.
Like, they opened today, I'm taking them back today. That is great.
Yes.
But I'm just asking that we take some caution around it.
Yes.
Because as much as they didn't get COVID, or that they're at a low risk of getting COVID, there's a lot of other things that have been happening.
Yes.
That we need to be... we need to talk about.
Yeah, safeguarding, some of the safeguarding issues and stuff like that surrounding that kind of...
Yeah. Okay. So I just thought, let's just have a few facts around COVID and then move on from there.
Of course.
So the one thing that everybody keeps saying is, let them go back, because children have a low risk of getting COVID.
Yes.
So there's no issue. Let them go back. So what is the risk?
Yes.
So the risk is not as high anyway. It's 8.5%.
Yes.
But what we don't know, or what we need to put in perspective, is that the children who then have an underlying condition have a higher risk.
Yes.
And their risk is almost the same as the adult who has an underlying condition.
Yes.
Now, someone will say, okay, then that's fine. No, it's not fine. Because how many of us know whether our children have an underlying condition?
That is and this is what we keep talking about. This having a GP, a general practitioner, a family doctor, who you go to at least once a year to check out the family, so that we know how healthy we actually are.
Yes.
No?
Yeah. So that's why if at any one point you've needed validation for why you should go and see a doctor, even if you don't feel sick, this is one of those times. And even if you don't want to go, because I am an adult, I can take care of me, that's not the same for a child.
Yes.
So one of the things you need to do before you buy that Christmas tree and Christmas presents, can you give them a present of, let's just go see the doctor anyway?
Yes.
Let's get to understand, do we have any underlying conditions?
That's it.
Because if we do, then that already gives us a new angle to look at things.
It. Yes.
Now, the other thing that we need to be talking about is, how prepared are the schools to receive all the students? Because everybody is saying, class 4 walirudi, class 8 walirudi. So far, nothing much has happened. Yes, a lot has happened that the schools have been hiding, especially the boarding schools.
Yes.
Kids have gotten COVID and they have kept it under the handle and all that. That's okay. But imagine, even at that point, only 2 classes have gone back and there was all that drama.
Yes.
Now, this time, it's all the kids back. So no social distance. Now they're social distancing.
Yes.
When they go back, there's no social distance.
They're really, a lot of schools are really not social distancing. I've visited a couple of schools.
Yeah.
Those children have gone back into the classes that were overcrowded before COVID. They've gone back in the same conditions. Because if you imagine, most of the classes in this country are overcrowded. So the moment you if they wanted to social distance, they could have done, this is class 4 only, Cindy. If we usually have 30 children, we're going to have 15 or 10. Now, in those 15 or 10, instead of having them all doing maths at the same time, we're going to alter
so that the teachers are working, 3 teachers at the same time on the same class, but then you see what I mean? Yes.
So 3 different classes of the same class, but that's not what's happening.
Not happening. No. So now we're going to have more students, not just more students, younger
more vulnerable,
who don't understand the issues of keep your mask on.
That's it.
Mask yako ni supu, able to exchange.
That's it.
All those things are going to happen.
And according to the WHO, there is an age group hapa chini when they don't have to wear masks.
Yes. And there's that also.
Yeah, and that we have to think that even though the likelihood of them contracting and being sick from it is low, the likelihood of them carrying it is still high.
Yes.
And they're
bringing
asymptomatic,
it to the parents.
They're asymptomatic, or bringing it to the school from the parents.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So basically they're carriers.
Yes.
They might be asymptomatic, but they can still carry the disease.
Yes.
So that's one thing we have to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we think about all these festivities and all that, let's think about how are we preparing our kids for this COVID business and going back to school. They may not be the ones who are going to catch it, but they could contribute to someone else catching it. And that would be a very bad thing. And I know some parents, and I was on social media yesterday, and I could see people are saying, let them go back, God will take care of them. He's taken care of us so far. And I'm like, yes, but God only gave us wisdom to do the right thing. And, COVID happened, and God was there when COVID happened.
Yeah.
So, and we still have to come up with our solutions even as we continue.
Yes.
So we can't just let caution go to the wind because, God is there.
The way they say, let go and let God. But the thing is, God also gave us free will.
Yes.
If you're a Christian and you read the Bible, you know that, yes, He takes care, but He also gave us free will to choose. Now, if you choose wrong, you cannot consciously choose the wrong thing and say God will take care of me.
Yes.
Ni kama jumping off a building knowing very well that these are 15 floors. There is no chance
you will
on this earth that you're going to survive that fall.
Yes.
Zero. But with your faith,
God is
you
there.
choose the wrong thing and then you say, Mungu nisaidie, uniokote huko chini, uniweke ICU nirudi.
Haiwezekani.
Cheers.
So, health assessment, very important. Get your child assessed. And if you don't want to do it at home, I hope that your school has a system in place where they're going to assess the children.
Yes.
And if they don't, after you assess, you get your child assessed, can you carry that information to the school?
Yes.
So that they get to understand. So that I look forward to a point where the school can be knowing, in our school we have 900 students. Out of the 900, 10 are diabetic.
Yes.
Therefore, we cannot afford to be keeping them in the same space with the other people because they are at risk.
Of course.
Therefore, we are going to have a different class for them, or we are going to arrange for them to learn from home some days and camp some days, so that we don't have an adverse effect of someone dying.
Yes.
Because whether you know it or not, if a child dies in a school where your child goes, they are affected.
Of course.
They will live in fear.
Yes. Those cars.
They will live in fear.
Yes.
And that is something very hard to take away from a child.
Yes.
So, get that health assessment done.
Yes.
And carry that information to the school. Or ask your school to come up with a system where all the kids are assessed.
Yes.
And if you have nowhere to get that information from, look for me, I will help you.
Yes.
Now, I wanted us to go through a checklist. So there's a checklist for parents and a checklist for students.
Yes.
So that we know what our responsibilities are, or what you need to talk to your child about.
Yes.
So for the parent, one of the things is you need to monitor your child's health and be able to keep them away from school when they are ill.
Yes.
Please. I know someone is going to say it is just a sore throat. What's the point? Enda shule, si hata hao ni walikupe.
Yeah.
You know that story. Si uliitoa huko, hata wewe enda tu. Kapeane huko.
It's like when they tell you that if your child is sick, like they vomit, you have to keep them away for 48 hours.
Yes.
until it goes away, and in 48 hours, if it was a passing bug, it's gone. It's out of their system.
Yeah.
If after 48 hours, even if they vomit again after your 48 hours, you have to keep them away another 48 hours.
Yes.
So 48 hours from the point of the last vomiting. Not 48 hours from the point they stopped going to school. And it's the same what you're saying.
Yeah.
That if it is irresponsible
Very.
of us to send a symptomatic child to school without having them formally assessed, because it puts everyone at risk.
It does.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if your child comes to you, I hope that you're open enough for your child to communicate with you.
Yes.
Because some of us, we are the last people our children tell anything.
Yeah. We were talking about this on the show today.
Yes. So I hope that they feel, that they can come to you and say, okay, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah.
So that you as a parent can say, you need to stay home, not because utakosa shule leo watu wanasoma, but because you know that him or her going to school with those symptoms is going to put everybody else at risk.
Yes.
And yes, I know labda ameitoa huko, because that's going to be the argument.
Yes.
Hata yeye alipewa huko. But if we all keep doing that, there's that one child whose defenses are not there.
Yes.
Immunity hakuna.
Yes.
And we are going to affect them somehow. So please, number one, monitor your child's health. So this is that time where you need a thermometer. It's only 50 bob. Please buy one. So that when your child says nasikia hivi, you can at least take temperature. At least. Please. Okay. Then we need to be able to teach and model good hygiene. Yes, I know the last 7 months they've been home. Is it 7? I've even lost count. However many, 9. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 10. Oh, you're still counting. Okay. Yeah. So the last 10 months, the children have been home, and at one point they stopped doing all this wash your hands after every touching this surface, that surface, wear a mask, because we all know they are playing outside without any mask. And now they're going to school where they're going to be told mask all the time.
Yes.
And some of them are too young to understand the mask all the time. So this is that point where you need to start teaching them about good hygiene.
Yes.
Sanitize, put on your mask.
Yes.
Cough in your elbow, sneeze in your all those things. But if they're coughing and sneezing, why are you sending them to school?
That's fair.
All right. The third thing you need to have on your checklist is you need to encourage your child to be able to ask questions or talk about how they're feeling to you and to the teacher. So if you're a parent whose child can't approach, please, this is that time you need to be open enough for them to approach you.
Yes.
They've been through a lot. It's not just COVID. The way we look at it, we say, wako sawa, si ni COVID tu hajashikwa nayo. But we all know there's been a lot of issues around abuse.
Yes.
Some of our children have been abused.
Yes.
And we don't even know. And that is the reality.
Yes.
Because we don't talk to our children.
Yeah.
We don't, because I'm feeling niko na stress toka hapa. Usi ukiniongelesha tena.
Yes.
Ile kofi nitakuangushia. Peleka kelele huko.
Yes.
But the child is trying to communicate. So this is something we're going to come back to.
Yes.
So hold that thought about abuse. So encourage your child to ask questions to you and the teacher. So this is that point where you have to know the teacher, my child's class teacher. Are they approachable?
Yes.
Are they people that, a child can go to and say, teacher, I'm not feeling well.
Yes.
Teacher, I'm scared because so and so has been told they have COVID.
Yes.
Teacher. So if that is not happening, then you as a parent, you have a role to be able to go to school and find out. So what are those measures they've put in place? This business of hands off, tunangojea tu waseme go, sisi wote watoto.
Ama ukiambiwa, this is how it is. You just take it as gospel. Some of us as parents, we're so hands off. Mikama, the old Catholic Church. I don't know if they do it anymore now, but tulikuwa tunaambiwa sisi tukigrow up hatukuwa na Bible kwa nyumba as Catholics. Tulikuwa tunasomewa na priest. Na priest kila amesema that's the truth, you know. And some of us as parents tunakuanga hivyo when it comes to schools. Sisi tumechukua mtoto, tumemtafutia shule, tumeambiwa na mama nani shule ni poa because they pass exams, and then we don't think about engaging with the school beyond bringing the child on that first day of school, and then after that it's dropping them at the gate.
Meanwhile, when you think about it, other than these 10 months when the kids have been home, it's in the school they spend most of their time.
Yeah.
You would think then that I would be all the way in there, all up in their business.
Hata kama siko PTA, if there is a bake sale, if there is a parents' evening, if there is a trip, I offer to help out, everything, you know, because I wanted to know what is happening at this school.
Yes.
I want to know how other parents are engaging with this school. Because if there is a kashida, mimi nakwambia, mama wenye wanakuanga kwa PTA ama wababa ama those are the ones who know if the school is doing well, if there's a teacher who maybe alishikwa akifanya vitu hafai kufanya, you know, if kama headmistress and master misappropriate funds, things like that.
Yeah.
And those are all things that affect our children in the long run. And what we have to remember is school is to our children what work is to us.
Yes. It is.
It's their job.
It is their job.
You know.
And they can only do it in a healthy and safe environment.
Exactly.
Yes. The last thing you need to have on your checklist as a parent is you need to coordinate with your school so that you understand what systems they've put in place post-COVID and how you can support.
Yes.
Again, hands off is not one of those things we want to adapt at this point.
No.
We need to be hands-on.
Yes.
For example, I'm sure by now you know the school fees you're supposed to pay. Some of you have even paid it. But if I ask you what the system is in place in terms of healthcare in your school, you have no idea. Other than that part where they say in the diary, which hospital do you want your child to be taken to in case of an emergency? And then you've written Nairobi Hospital. Meanwhile, you stay where? In Donholm.
Ama shule iko Donholm.
Yes.
Wamesema Nairobi Hospital.
Yes. Na meanwhile wamekuuliza emergency.
Yes.
Na hata ujui ambulance ni gani. Ambulance unajua ni gani shule natumianga?
Yeah.
You don't know.
What is the response time?
You have no idea.
How many times?
Do they have a policy in place that says in the event of an emergency we do A, B, C?
Yes. Yes.
We don't know all that.
We've actually talked about this.
We have.
In another program. And what I'll do is if you follow the YouTube link for this show, you can view all our previous patient support services programs.
Yeah.
And this thing for emergencies at school and children's medical care at school is actually a full program that we've done.
Is.
And if you go onto the YouTube channel, where the link will be on this program, you will be able to see all of that and what advice that you have given.
Yes.
Yeah.
So coordinate with your school. The same way you received some slip about school fees, ask them to tell you what they're planning around COVID and at-risk children and all that.
Yes.
Now, for your children, what do they need to have on their checklist? They need to know that they are free to ask questions.
Yes.
As parents and as adults, we were all very scared when COVID started. And there was a lot of media and all that, and trying to demystify the whole thing.
Yes.
Have you ever wondered whether your child understands the same way you do? The reality is they don't.
Yes.
And now they have to go back to school,
with
all of them.
Uncertainty.
And I can imagine as African parents, we don't even have that day where we're going to sit down with them and be like, okay, how are you feeling about going back to school?
Yes.
With all these issues about COVID.
Yes.
Are you anxious? Are you worried? Are you excited? You need to have that conversation with your child. Please remember to let them know that they can ask questions.
Yes.
And remember, before you tell them that, tell your school that you know that they should allow the students to ask questions.
That's it.
So the first day they go to school, hakuna cha umesahau 2+2. Can they first help them to debrief? Debriefing, very important, because we haven't debriefed our children.
That's it.
I'm hoping the teachers will debrief them, because in between here, a lot has happened to our children.
Yes.
And they need to talk about it to somebody,
yes.
because otherwise, COVID will be the least of our problems.
Yeah.
And that school calendar I saw for next year is not a joke. So if your child is not in the right state of mind, they will not study. And COVID will not be the reason why. It will be psychological.
Yes.
Yes. So remember, let your children know that they can ask questions to you and to their school. Number 2, let your child know that they have a responsibility to protect themselves and others. The fact that I don't feel like wearing a mask does not mean I should put it down, because there are other people who are at risk.
Yes.
This is that part where you let your child know that Sharon and Irene, yes, we are students in the same class.
Yes.
But we are not the same.
Yes.
Because Irene has diabetes.
Yes.
And Sharon is fine.
Yes.
So if Sharon doesn't take care of herself,
yes,
Irene is at risk.
Yes.
Or vice versa. So please, let your children know they have a responsibility. Don't just wake up on a Monday morning and just say, wapi vitabu, wapi viatu, sijui nini, go to school. Please have that conversation.
Let's prepare them. And also, what we have to remember is, children have been out of school for almost a year.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, walianza January huku kukianza, si on the first, but hapa hivi kuna wenye walienda shule katikati ya January. And then they went to school January, February, March. So they went to school 2 months of this year. So they might as well not have been in school.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So our children have had a whole year of living a very different life from what they used to, of going to school, half term, going to school, a holiday, evil. You know, they've had a long holiday.
Very long.
So we also, as parents, need to start adjusting our children, especially those who haven't been doing homeschooling.
Yes.
You know, we need to get that curriculum and think to ourselves, unacheki kama sasa, there are those who've gone back to school to do exams. I don't know how the government is planning to do it, but they will do exams at some point earlier in the year.
Yeah.
You know? Now, those ones weren't even prepared. Our watoto waliambiwa wanini tu waende shule. It was announced like today that they're going back to school on Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, why do we then want to do the same to the children who we now have actual notice for?
Yes.
You know? Now we know the date that our children are going back to school.
Yeah.
We need to start also preparing them by making them aware that e-regime inataka kuanza. So the ones that are not doing homeschooling, start having a more structured day.
Yes.
You know, asubuhi wasome for 2 hours, after tena wasome for 2 hours. Doesn't matter what kind of education we do. It doesn't matter whether it's the actual curriculum or not. It doesn't matter if they just read a book for 2 hours.
Let them just get into
get into some kind of structure so that it doesn't just shock them when they go back. Or is it 4th of January?
4th.
Yeah.
Right after New Year.
Yeah.
And then right now you just see people, yes, it is okay to celebrate Christmas and all that.
Yeah.
But with caution.
Yes.
So the other thing that your child needs to have on their checklist is that they need to be able to speak up if they are sick.
Yes.
Now, the reason why this is an issue is because we have kids, again, who have been abused. They don't speak anymore.
No.
They just sit. And you say, squeeze na nyamazanga tu, anatuangalia tu, ana smile. Uongo. That child is going through something. And if they're not able to speak to you, they're not able to speak to whoever in school, they're going to cave in at one point. And, you know, when that happens, as a parent, you feel like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
We all know. I know we are not talking about it. We like to probably throw it under the table. Teenage pregnancies have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
There are very many.
Yeah.
They're there.
But to be honest, and we were talking about this again in our show this morning on that show, teenage pregnancies and pregnancy as it is the least of your worries when your child has been abused.
Yes.
Because at least when there's a pregnancy, you see evidence that someone has defiled this child. So it can be dealt with. They can get the psychological help that they need.
Yeah.
I spiraled in my 20s as an abused child. I was sexually abused. And in my 20s, I literally went off. Because that's the point where it hit me, what had happened to me, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I can say that decade of my life, between 19 and 33, 34, it's a lost time of my life because of situations that were not dealt with. Yeah. As you say, I changed and nobody asked why.
Yeah.
I spoke, but they did not listen because, as you say, things are brushed under the carpet.
Yeah.
We need to empower teachers as well. Ask how your school is sort of set in terms of realizing when children have been abused and what safeguarding, what structure is there. Once that has been, a child comes and speaks to a teacher, the teacher goes to whom?
Exactly. So these are the issues right now, because most schools in Kenya, and I hate to break it to you, don't really have a health system in school.
No.
And whether you believe it or not, mental health is one of the biggest issues that any school should be able to handle. And not only be able to talk about it, but have a document that both kids and parents know about.
Yes.
So that the children know that when you find out about abuse, you can go to whether it's teacher so-and-so or nurse so-and-so. After that, this parent will be called, that person will be notified. It is so clear so that there is no, you will do it the way you want, I will do it the way I want, he will do it. No.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But our schools don't have those systems in place.
Yes.
They deal with it subjectively. Subjectively.
If the parent is the one who's doing the abusing and they have
let them
just transfer the child.
Exactly. And then you don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Or children are caught with a bang in school and all that.
Yes.
The other parents are never notified. Why not?
Yes.
Because it seems it's an issue. Even if it was not my child.
Yes.
My child was in that school when that happened.
Yes.
So during PTA, can we talk about results? But let's talk about all these other things that are
substance abuse.
And that can only happen if there's a health system in school. So that there are things that are tracked that are able to be reported.
Yes.
So as you prepare your children to go to school, again I ask, have you been contacted by your school, your child's school, about preparedness, not just for COVID, but for effects of COVID? We've agreed that COVID is an issue, but it's not the only issue. There is mental health issues, a lot. Yesterday, I was talking about a few years back when I was working in one hospital, and I was working in a pediatric ward, which was really a center for abused children. And 95% of the children who were admitted there had been abused by people they knew.
Of course.
Relatives or family friends. Rarely, 5% of the time it was a stranger.
Yes. It's always someone they knew.
5% of the time it was a stranger.
Yes.
And the only reason why the children were admitted is because that person had finally gone overboard and damaged them somehow.
Yes.
Either they broke their hip or tore them down there. That is the only reason they came. And when you take history from the child, they'll say, Uncle has been doing this since. Oh, my brother has been doing this. Oh, it is the neighbor's child. It is the people around.
Yes.
So then, as they go back to school, as we send our children back to school, the one thing you need to be able to teach your child is to not stigmatize.
Yes.
Stigmatization is real in school.
Yes.
And it makes some other children run away from school.
Yes.
And I don't think any parent wants to be the one to be told, because of your child and the way they handle people,
yes,
5 more have run away.
Yes.
Meanwhile, your child is just a child.
Yes.
You're the parent. It's your responsibility to be able to teach them about how to coexist with other people.
Yes.
So if we are not having that conversation now, because whether we like it or not, we will have COVID cases in school.
That's it.
And these children will have to go and come back in the same class. And they will be stigmatized enough for them to refuse to come back to school.
Yeah.
So, as a parent, what is your role in all this?
Yes.
You need to be able to sensitize your children about stigmatization. It's not a good thing. You know it's not a good thing.
Yes.
But if we don't tell them about it, their children, they don't feel the need to not do it that way.
No.
But the more you teach them about it, they know better, then they do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we gave our children choices, they would eat sugary pops every morning.
Yes.
You know? Because it's nicer than porridge.
Of course.
Than oats. Than other things that are healthier. Than a banana. It's called sugar. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Sugar in some cases is more addictive than heroin.
You see?
You know what I mean? So, again, if we socialize our children to be kind, to be useful members of society, to say, look, that kid is sad. Let me go hold their hand and play with them. Let me go speak to them. Yeah. I used to watch certain programs with my child that people always thought that were older than his understanding. But you know your child and you know their level of understanding.
Yes.
One 9-year-old can be more mature than a 12, 15-year-old in certain cases.
That's true.
A mollycoddled 18-year-old will be less mature than a 10-year-old who's been taught that life is about taking responsibility and knowing that there are consequences to your action and have been taught the consequences to their actions.
Yeah.
Yes? A child who goes to school and comes and says, so-and-so was talking to me like this and I slapped them. Now, it's not the slapping of the other child that will make a difference in how this child interacts with the world going forward. It's your reaction to that slap.
Yes.
Now, if your reaction is a slap, what you've reinforced is violence.
Exactly.
If your reaction is, what did this child do to you? It's wrong. First, address the behavior. It is wrong to hit other children.
Regardless.
It is wrong. Violence is never the first, resort. However, what happened exactly? Tell me. First, address the behavior. It's wrong. But what happened to you today? How long has it been happening?
Yeah.
Your reaction. Do you think that you could have dealt? How we deal with things and how we teach our children makes a very big difference.
I know.
To how they interact with the world and us.
Yeah. I'm laughing because I was watching, I can't remember what I was watching, and then someone said, it's interesting the way we try to fix a problem with a problem. For example, your children are jumping up and down and they're shouting, and then you come and say, stop shouting! It's like, okay, who's the parent? Who's the parent and who's the child? Yeah.
Saa zingine you have to replace. Saa zingine as a parent, it's hard. And these little minions, they don't listen. And sometimes it's okay to lose your cool, but it's a habit.
Yeah, no, it's a habit. Also, you can lose your cool, but come back later and be like, okay, guys, I lost my cool.
Yes.
Yes. And
acknowledge that what you did was wrong.
You can acknowledge it.
So that they know, so that they know that it's not okay.
Yes, and also that they know that, even she's not perfect. I'm not expected to be perfect.
Exactly.
But I need to be able to apologize for when things happen.
Because then it teaches them also to apologize.
Yes. Yeah. So really, I think, so that's what I really wanted to talk about today.
Yes.
But before we conclude, I just want to reinforce and really, really state that mental health issues for children, they don't have capacity to call a counselor.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't even have capacity to identify if they have mental health issues.
Yes.
And if we don't talk to them, if we don't open up so that they can look at us as people that they can communicate with, they'll die inside.
Yeah.
And you know, that's how they end up with corners where they're found by people who then look like they're safe, and then the people take advantage of
them. They're groomed. A child who is neglected is easy to groom. You know, a child who perhaps, and this is what I always say, intentionally spend time with your children. It doesn't matter how busy you are. If you say that it's 1 hour every day, make it 1 hour, but make it count.
Yeah.
If you've got multiple children, make each child feel like they're listened to by giving them their time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's Kieran's time with mommy. Yes. We will go, if we can, into another room. We will go for a walk.
Yes.
We will do the thing that just the two of us do together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, it's Amma, today is this one, tomorrow is the other one. But just be equitable with how you parent.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing about being a child in a multiple child family, like most of us were, is parents generally have a favorite. We all know that one. Kevin
I was
Onyango.
a middle child and they forgot me.
I know. Middle child syndrome. So unajua huyu mtoto wa katikati sana sana, huyu mkubwa atapewa responsibilities.
Yes.
So they interact with their parents on that level.
Yeah.
Huyu mdogo ndio ule wa kuchungwa.
Yes.
So they interact with their parent on that level. These two extremes always have attention, whether it's negative or positive.
Yes,
they have attention. But hawa katikati wanapotelea. That's why there's a middle child syndrome.
Atieno uniitie nani?
Yeah.
Anaitwa aje?
Yeah.
Endo muite. On a lighter note.
But you know, when we think about children and abuse, it's never again, it's almost always somebody who knows them, because they've got an aim.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Na mimi usema hii tabia ya kuita kila mtu auntie na uncle. Yes, out of respect, but let it not be that our children are overly familiar with these auntie na uncle.
Yeah.
You see,
yeah.
It's okay in the African setting, I understand, because children don't call adults by their names. Although Mimi Pali, I've raised my child, it's okay, as long as they're respectful. Or they can call them so-and-so's mom or Mrs. So-and-so. But Mimi, Historia, Antina, Uncle, I think people need names that detach them away from that excessive familiarity with our children. Yeah. This is where we start protecting our children. Yeah. You know, especially within our domestic settings.
Yeah.
You know, huyu ni uncle so and so, sawa, they're staying with us for a while. However, we have house rules. In the bedroom where they stay, you do not go in there. They do not come into your bedroom under any circumstances.
Yes.
If someone touches you inappropriately, and we have to teach our children what inappropriate touching means. Oh, wow. You know, inappropriate touching means someone touches you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, not someone touching your genitals. Because by the time they're touching their genitals, it's already gone too far.
Exactly.
It usually starts with an arm on the knee when they're watching TV. It starts climbing up. The child feels uncomfortable but doesn't know how to say.
Yeah.
Because they have not been taught that this is inappropriate behavior on the part of someone else.
I agree.
You know, if somebody touches you, if somebody is too close to you in your space and you feel uncomfortable, your child should be able to say something.
Yeah.
When your child comes home and says to you, I don't want to sit next to that adult, do not force them to sit next to that adult. Because in most cases, you're giving permission to the abuser.
Oh yeah, is this the part where I also remind you that rape or sodomy, whichever you want to call it, it's not really opposite sex only.
No.
it happens same sex
Yes.
as well. So I've seen kids who've been sodomized.
Yes.
And you know, for them to even come out and say, okay, time out.
Yes.
Like, oh no, my brother has been doing this.
Yes.
It took them forever.
Yes.
Until when they're damaged.
Yes.
That's when they talk about
because now it's too painful physically.
Exactly.
But then here,
so you need to be able to let them know,
yes,
regardless.
Yeah.
Whether auntie is a woman
yeah,
and she's touching you and you're a girl and
yes,
you don't feel okay about, no way, they shouldn't touch you,
yeah,
in that inappropriate way, regardless.
Yes. And the thing is, what people, let's not forget, inappropriate is not genital. Is not synonymous. Inappropriate is, I was cooking and she brushed my bum. I was cooking and she gave me an inappropriate hug.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a hug that my auntie should be giving me.
Yes.
That my uncle should be giving me.
Yeah.
You see? So, but this comes with speaking to our children. My teacher called me after school and he pinched me near my genitals because that's what they used to do when we were children. You know, when we were younger. So they desensitized us from feeling that if somebody touches me near my genitals, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, because it was a form of punishment.
Yeah.
Now, by the time they come to abuse you, you feel like you've done something wrong to be punished in that way.
That's true.
And that is how a lot of us were abused.
Yeah.
Because nobody sat us down and showed us a program. Anytime there's a program that shows anything about abuse, we hide it from our children. And that, in many cases, can be our in to understand what exactly our children understand about abuse. Yeah. For me, as a parent, I've always used visual tools to try and understand where my child was psychologically, what he had been exposed to out there. You see? Because when he sees this, he'll be like, oh, so-and-so, he just tells it as a story. And that's what children do.
Yeah, because they don't know how to hide it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, if you suspect maybe your child is being abused, it doesn't have to be graphic what you show them, but it should depict some kind of the behavior that you think might be happening to your child. That way, children are so innocent. They'll just come out with it and tell you, oh, that's what Uncle so-and-so did to me.
And then you get to know. But remember, the only way they'll talk to you is if you're open enough for them to talk to you.
Yes.
I know COVID came with a lot of issues.
Yes.
Most of us are stressed.
Yes.
We've lost our jobs. We don't have a source of income. We are worried about a zillion things. And yeah, this is just one more of those things you have to worry about.
Yeah.
So, you know, get a grip around it.
Yes.
And focus.
Yes.
Get time and really ensure that the mental health status of your child is appropriate for learning. All this rush for tufungue shule twende, you know. But if you don't know the mental health status of your child really, then you shouldn't be on the front line of fungua shule, twende, nini, wamekula sana, wamekaa kwa nyumba, watasoma tu. Ama wataenda wakae hapo, teacher aongee na yeye amezone out. Then unaambiwa, since they opened, he's not doing well, they come home, you beat them, they go back to school, they zone out some more. You know how it goes. So prepare them. Have that conversation. Do that health assessment. Go to school and find out what they're doing there. That is going to protect your child and the other children. Because it's a community.
That's it. You know, my dad used to do this thing, I don't think he did it to protect us. He alikuwa tu ataka kudos, but it taught me something. No, it's true. My dad worked for Barclays, and every year Barclays used to have calendars, pens, hizi ma notebooks, ama meetings zao, vitu kama hizo. And every year, my dad made sure that at least the teachers that were important for your shule, headmaster, headmistress, class teacher, my dad loved maths, so maths, English, those key positions kwa shule, calendar, kalamu, nini, anatokea budangu ni mso hivi, anatokea hivi. anawasalimia. My dad hardly ever came to my school.
Yeah.
But when he did, like, people knew who he was.
Yes.
You know? So, and another thing is, when people know who you are at a school, your child stops being a number.
Yes. That's true.
So
if we
easier,
all just did
exactly,
something.
yes. You know, create a relationship with your child's class teacher, number one. No, in fact, some of us don't even know who our children's class teachers are.
Yeah, we don't,
Some of us don't know.
The only time we meet them ni open day.
Yes, na kama tutaenda.
Unachukua, ama unatuma mtu, anachukua report form.
Yeah.
Next time you go, by the way.
Yes.
Mkienda kuchukua iyo report form, wambie, okay, this is good. Aya, letter ya health.
Yes.
How many times have they been sick? What was done for them?
Yes.
How many children were sick here?
Yes.
That's how you identify trends.
That's it.
Imagine if in a school of 900, you had at one point children having typhoid.
Yeah.
50 of them.
Yes.
That's a good number.
Yes.
But if they're not counting them,
yes,
then, you know, each one is isolated.
That's it.
But if there's a way they consolidate,
yes,
and then sit down and say, oh my God, it looks like our hygiene,
yes,
or something is not right,
exactly,
because we have this number of children,
yes,
having this kind of sickness.
Yes.
They can't possibly, all of them, be bringing it from
home.
Homes.
Yes.
That means hapa shule
kuna kashida.
But if you're not having this conversation,
yes,
in terms of health.
Yes. That is so true. Yeah. Guys, as we prepare to bring our children back to school, all I can say is your child is probably the most important person in your life. You brought this person into this life without their consent. It is your responsibility to get them to at least 18 if they're given the life in a safe way, with as little baggage. Everybody will have baggage. After Prince Charles akona baggage, you know, na yeye ni royalty. In hierarchy hapa ya Commonwealth, au ndio wale you know. So let us remember that our duty as parents is to bring these children to 18 in the safest way we can get them there. And this doesn't just mean physically, this means psychologically, because it's the biggest scar. These are the biggest scars that our children go out of our homes with. It is what happens to them in their childhood that defines their adulthood. It's really that simple. So let us have our children's backs. Let our children know unequivocally.
English.
Unequivocally, sijui. One of them. Yani huyu mtoto, mimi mtoi wangu aliniambia siku moja niende parenting classes. Nikamuuliza kwa nini, akaniambia mami, because you don't listen to me. Nikamwambia like when, akaniambia sometimes when you're doing something and I'm trying to talk to you, you don't listen. Nikamwambia Kiran, let's do this, let's make a deal. Don't try to talk to me when I'm doing something. Ask me, mommy, can I speak to you? If I don't have a moment in that moment when I'm doing that thing, I'll tell you how long it will take me to do that thing. 10, 15, 20 minutes. We will time it. And then after that, I will put whatever it is down. If I can put it down immediately, I will. If I can't, I'll tell you, please, can it wait 10 minutes? After that 10 minutes, I'm all yours. You see? Now, tukasikizana hivyo. Na tukaendelea kuongea. One day, he came to me and he said, I said to him, Kiran, so you know, easy to was a safeguarding. We were talking because they spoke to them about it in school. Nikamwambia, so if someone did something to you, or if something bad was happening to you, even if someone was bullying you, what would you do? Akaniambia, I'll tell you. Nikamwambia, why would you tell me? Akaniambia, because I know you'll deal with it. Yani mtoi wangu hana doubt. Good or bad.
Yes.
He trusts me.
Yes.
To deal with it.
Hapo kwa trust.
Alafu siku ingine akakuja. I tell this with a bit of shame because I'm an African parent. And they should be afraid of us. So akakuja akaketi na mimi. My kid is 15 going on 16. He said to me, mommy, alikuwa ananiambia story ya best yake mwingine mwenye relationship is a bit dodgy with the mom. Akaniambia, but mommy, we're not like other children and their parents. Nikamwambia, how? Akaniambia, we're more like best friends, aren't we? That thing made me want to cry. Lakini as an African mother, I'm like, why is he not afraid of me? Like, that is deep down, of course, recesses, you know.
Because you're trying to imagine, yes, the way when you are growing up,
exactly. I know, sindio.
Unaanza checklist, nimeoga.
That's it.
Nimefanya.
Exactly.
Because you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think the biggest thing now going forward, and in a safeguarding point of view, and as our children go back to school, is for them to be able to speak to us. Because if your child can come and tell you, I did not wear my mask at school, or people are not wearing their masks, and I feel a bit like I'm sick, and you can talk about the symptoms, and you refuse to dwell on the fact that this one child is not wearing a mask when it's a problem for the whole school, then your child will trust you. And your child will know that no matter what they come to you with, they can talk to you. So again, it's not what our children tell us, it's how we react to it. Mimi saa zingine mtu wangu alikuwa anakuja ananiambia ati mtu alimchapa ngumi shule, yeye pia akarudisha hiyo ngumi. My instincts as a rugby player ni kumweka ngumi, ni kumwambia hivyo ndio vile mtu huishi life. However, as a mother, I need to take a minute. I'm like, Kieran, I need you to think about what you just told me. So give me 10 minutes. I give you 10 minutes. Think about it. We sit in separate rooms. Think about it. Then I'll come back and we'll talk about it. Mimi nani kwa bedroom yangu. Yes. Chapa kitu ilale. And then, but Nikirudi, I know. Nikirudi, I have to deal with it from a parent's heart point of view. And I have to be sober about it and say, right, how else could you have approached this situation?
Yeah.
So, guys, however hard it is, and it's hard parenting, let us listen to these little people because we brought them into this earth, and it's our responsibility first and foremost to make sure that they stay safe.
Yeah. From my end, I was about to say I will only say, but it's not only.
Yeah, I will also say. Yes.
Learning will only take place if your child's mind is at ease.
Yes.
Don't rush learning. It can happen anytime. And they could open school on the 4th of January, but your child can open school in July.
Yes.
In their mind.
Yes. That's true.
So deal with the issues now and ensure that learning happens the right way.
Yes.
Don't be in a rush to physically present them.
Deliver.
How about you send them as a whole person, physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally?
Yeah.
That's how you send them to school, not physically. Don't be in a rush because that will not earn you any kind of respect or marks.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is, I think the pandemic has taught us that we need to have a lot of right things in place. That they're not there now and things are still working doesn't mean they shouldn't be there.
Yes.
Because we don't know what else is going to happen.
Yes.
None of us knows.
Yes.
And none of us knows whose child it will affect. It could be mine, it could be yours. But if we have the right things in place, that reduces the risk.
Yes.
So the right thing is that your school should have a health system. At home, you should have how you enter into the health system.
Yes.
Whether it's directly to your GP and then to whoever else. So can you take responsibility and engage your school? Because that's where your kids spend most of their time. And help them to set up this health system.
Yes.
Just because it's not there and things are working doesn't mean it shouldn't be there.
Yes.
Mark my words. Yes. Because we shall need it. Yes. And at that point won't be the time we want to start looking for ways to put it there.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys. I know like some of the stuff that we've spoken about today are a bit deep and they might cut a bit close to the bone. But these are important things for us to talk about on the issue of parenting. on a show this morning, that show, it came about that, and this is not the first time that someone has said it, that we should have segments for parenting, not to advise parents, but to discuss the things around parents and parenting in this 2020 and beyond. Yeah. Post-pandemic.
It's true.
You know. So this is something we're looking at. So keep your eyes peeled. We will bring you this. And if you have any other issues that you want us here at Galactic Productions to tackle, because this is the whole point. As a people, and I say this all the time, as a people, African people learn through stories, and we've done for years and generations and millennia, if we've been here for millennia. Wazungu wanatuambianga sijui 400 years, sijui 1 million years.
Najaribu kufikiria millennia.
Exactly, millennia 1 million. So, sisi lazima tufikiriaje as Africans. Our job is to tell stories. So if you have a story, or if you have a way that something you want to share that will benefit our community, this is how we grow together. Yeah. We don't grow together by criticizing. We don't grow together by judging, by lecturing. When me and Irene sit here, we highlight.
Yes.
So that you can make more informed choices. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that you can't say, sikujua. You know, kile tume highlight, wewe fikiria, how am I interacting with the health system? How am I interacting with my child? How am I interacting with the school? Am I satisfied with my interaction?
That's what I should have said in 5 minutes, and then I go away. But I took the long route.
Hapo ni sawa pia. Fabi uniambiaje? Sharon, yani Mungu kuletea paragraph. Unaiweka ikwe 1 sentence.
Imagine. How do you do? I've been talking for the last 55 minutes, and she summed it up in 3 sentences.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget that this program is here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Keep interacting. Keep bringing us those topics that you want us to tackle, so that we can make this a wider reach. Because yangu na Irene tunaweza tu kuleta ile point sisi tunaona hapa nje, but you guys have a different perspective to how you interact with our world around us, with health, within health, and all this stuff. So keep bringing those topics in, keep supporting us, keep sharing. Na msisahau hatuko peke yetu, tuko wengi, na this parenting thing is better done as a village.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye bye.